right. Welcome to episode number 10 of No Traps, No Glory. Today I have two wonderful guests with me. The venerable Viviana Podhaiski of Everyday Lifters / Viviana Podhaiski Photography. That's the wedding avenue. And my good friend, who we go back a long, long way, Dave Aisenstat of CrossFit 845 and So Creative 845.
Thanks for having me, Dan. This is great, man.
Yeah, appreciate having you on. This is good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So, what we're going to come at you guys with today is... What do you mean, oh boy?
Go ahead. I didn't say anything.
So, I'll give you a little bit of a background. So, the three of us, like I said, Dave and I went to high school together. I remember Dave when he was training people, first started getting into CrossFit, training people out of his garage. That's correct. Back when he was working at a New York sports club and then starting slowly to build people up in there. We actually, he and I looked at a space together up in, where was that?
That was off of Knoxtown.
Yeah, it was off of Knoxtown. Was that Poughkeepsie considered? Yep. Okay, looked at a space together. I remember some guy gave me a book. Yeah, I can't remember what the book was about, but he gave me his, I wrote a book. So, all right, and he gave me a book. So, for real, we're not making this up.
Did you read the book?
I never did.
Yeah.
No, but it was, I leafed through it, and it was like the most simple book ever. It was like how to not waste money. So it'd be like, if you go out and you see something you like, assess its value, and then
make the decision.
Make the decision to not buy it, and like trinkets and stuff.
Wow.
It's like, all right, you can't get more common sense than that. So, a lesson on frugality.
Yeah.
And then Viv.
Hola.
Yes, she's connected Dave because she first got really into working out and training through Dave's gym.
CrossFit 845.
Yeah. And now the three of us have...
Our best friends.
Yeah, we're best friends.
Forever and ever.
And we always will be. Three of us now have evolved to where all of us are business owners in the Hudson Valley. We started from nothing and came to a point where we are today where I don't know if you want to deem us successful or not, but nonetheless we've essentially have roots. We're all related to each other. We've all related relative to the area, but have created something from nothing to the point that we are today. And that's what I'd like to discuss with you guys and go over.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it is. So, starting off, Dave, let's go for you because our viewers are familiar with Viv. She's oddly not prepared with her mega notebook that she usually has.
You got a mega notebook, yeah?
Yeah, last time she came in, I was going to get this. I was going to interview her. And she comes in with a notepad full of questions.
No, I had notes.
Wow.
Full of questions.
I came prepared.
Questions for him?
Yeah.
No, I had notes for...
Like he was interviewing you.
Yeah, she was studying for an exam.
I see.
I don't get that. So, Dave, start with you. How'd you get started with this? Like, obviously, I just gave everyone a little background on training people in your garage, but how'd that evolve out?
Yeah, so turned out in 2012, actually, I was doing it out of my garage. I started with my best friend who lived across the street, and then one best friend turned into 30 people coming to my garage. I think at the high point, I ended at the high point. I was charging like $40 a head, like straight cash.
Yeah.
And then my house went on the market, so I had to make the decision of what to do. And at the same time, I was dating someone who wanted me to pick up and go down to South Carolina with her. Do you remember that?
I remember that now. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, I remember
gossip.
that.
It's
not gossip. It's a life story. Gossip's
a
life story.
Well, it's an integral part of like what happened.
Okay.
So it turned out springish, early springish. I want to say March, where like she was like ready to make this decision. She was going anyway. She got into medical school down there. And then
I forgot all about it. I remember all this now.
Oh yeah. So we're heading into like March, April. House is on the market, so the pressure's on. And everyone's like, well, what are we going to do? Everyone coming to the garage is like, well, what are we going to do? I was like, I don't know, guys. And then one moment I vividly remember was I was on my back porch, and I got a phone call from my girlfriend at the time. She said, you either come with me down to South Carolina or we're done. And I remember laughing on the phone.
Ultimatum.
We are done.
That's awesome.
And then at that, I want to say that night I went out, partied and whatnot, got crazy. Was like loving life. Was like, I'm opening up a gym. I'm gonna go look at spaces. That week I went to look at spaces. I think I looked at 5 spaces altogether. The very first one I fell in love with. Looked at 4 others, and then came back to the first one. And then that was the one in Wappingers. And then that was May of 2012. And then
that's crazy.
That was it. Yeah.
Wow.
That's how the first one started.
So your life could have been so much different.
Yes,
it could have been.
It could have been.
Different.
Yeah. She wanted me to literally pick up and leave. I have no connections down there.
None.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was it, the phone call. So thank you,
Wow.
ex-girlfriend.
That's great. You know, it is wild
you.
how things like that,
Yeah.
how they end up turning out. Like,
Yeah.
It could be just like either a stressful situation or something that pushes you to just commit to making a decision all complete for yourself. I mean, that's kind of
Everything
how you
happens
got
for a
it.
reason.
Yeah, it does.
That's what I really
And
believe.
that's-
It sounds so cliche, but
No, it's true.
that's how
And
it
it's-
works out.
And that's how you got into photography, no? I mean, with your job, really.
Yeah, I made a tough
pushed,
decision.
So what pushed you into that?
I ended up I hated going into work. So the thing that I went to school for, I was then stressed out, and I thought to myself, what am I doing with my life? Like, I can't do this for the next 12 years.
Yeah.
And I remember I'll never forget, because I was just telling someone this the other day, that I had been calling out a lot from work.
I remember that.
My last
See, I
year.
remember that too, yeah.
That's funny.
To go to these USA events, and I'll never forget my boss calling me into the office. Viviana, we have to talk. Oh, okay. You've been calling out a lot. We're gonna have to write you up. Sure. And that was the first time that I felt so liberated. Like, you want to write me up? I don't really care. Do it.
Isn't that crazy?
Leaving.
Yeah.
And that, you know, my 12, or not my 12 years, but for a good part of my time there, I was aging
Right.
Yeah.
because I was in this
And like any
toxic
average
place.
person in that moment would be like really upset, really heartbroken, but you were different. You're like, this is the moment.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was the first time I was like, no, I think it's time for a change.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then what led you to that transition? What caused you to initiate? Being written up or just in general?
I think I'm sort of a planner, so when
You don't say. All right, anyway.
Really, tell me more.
Yeah, please. Tell me something else I don't know about you.
Something very specific happened where I worked that I don't want to repeat here, but I had already then started thinking 2 years ahead, like
Okay.
2 or 3, like I need
Wow.
to be out of here. What am I going to do?
Far ahead?
No.
Yeah, and
Gender thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
so I knew even if I didn't have anything lined up, I gave myself a date.
Okay.
That was going to be my last day. So
That's nice. And you're still on? Are you on leave, or you didn't officially
No,
quit?
I
right?
officially quit.
Oh, you did officially
did,
quit. Oh, I
yeah.
thought you were on like hiatus or whatever
No.
that was. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
that is awesome.
And that, I mean, and so let's say, go back to you. When you opened your gym, were you still working at the sports club, or were you working?
Yeah,
at
man. I was working at New York Sports Club. I was miserable. None of my higher ups, like my managers and my bosses, they did not like me because I was doing things that they weren't necessarily approving of, like
Okay.
some like CrossFit style workouts. Take Vicky for example. She
Yeah.
came to every single one of my classes. She was one of my clients there. Like, other than that, and other than my clients, I didn't give a shit about corporate. I hated it, and I
Yeah.
knew that I did not want to be in corporate. And that's like when my path was like, okay, you're going to be your own boss. You cannot deal with this shit.
Yeah.
You know? Can I curse?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We're free range here.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, well, yeah. See, oh, boy, let it out. It feels good. It's liberating. Speaking of liberating,
Yeah.
come on. This is not monitored by corporate, nor do we have an HR department.
That's
here.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Let's just making sure.
Yeah, we're all good.
Yeah. So that was it, man. And it's been the best. It's, I think the three of us have something in common where we don't have to answer to anybody necessarily, but we also are responsible for a lot of people and a lot of decisions.
And that's something I don't think a lot of people really understand. Or a lot of people, most people, don't understand the weight of that.
Right.
Because
We go to bed with it.
Yeah.
Most people go 9 to 5 and don't take their work home, but we have to go to bed and wake up with it every single day.
Last night, for example, I did a seminar at a gym. I came home and such, but I'm eating a bowl of cereal, and then it was like 9:58 at night, eating a bowl of cereal right before I go to bed, and I'm signing the check for my rent and
Right.
putting it in an envelope, and then I mean that's it. It never stops, and no one realizes how it never stops. And like, let's say, for example, the guy next door, the carpet store guy. I stopped by here yesterday because there was some stuff. Again, after I do all this, it's just some recycling or things I had to take out. I come over, I see that his car was here. I stop over and just say hi to him. He owns a business. He's here. He works 7 days a week. He was just hanging out, so I went in and talked to him. It's like people don't understand that lifestyle, and I think I mean, give me your take on this. I think most people are afraid to make those decisions. Most people don't want to take such a chance, especially, I mean, I would think you would need an idea of what you're going to do, but most people, even if they have an idea, they're too afraid to act upon that.
Oh, no question. It's like working out. It's like how do you progress to the next point? You have to be uncomfortable with getting there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are just stuck with complacency, and they're fine with that, and that's what they're gonna fulfill their life with, is just being same rinse and repeat routine every single day, and they're fine with that. But
I agree.
Not for us.
It's hard not to be. And do you guys think it's personality type, or do you think that's something that's adopted?
I know for myself, that's how I was raised.
Okay.
Like my parents were, there was just no excuse. Like if you wanted something, you went out and you just got it done. And there was no such thing as being tired, no such thing as, there was no time. If you didn't have time, you found time. It was that, I don't know, that's just the way I was raised.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just like, you had, whatever you had to do, you had to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I mean, you and I have been talking for years about this. Like, we have the same mentors, and I think they helped us along the way and made us realize some things that I think is definitely learned, to answer your question. I think it's definitely, you know, you learn from either your parents or you learn along the way, but it's something that we love doing and we'll never stop doing. I don't think anyone can just simply do it. You have to want it.
Yeah. You know, and that's really interesting. And, you know, because I've always kind of would think you need to have certain personality characteristics to be able to do so. But at the same time, I don't know if it's either the way we brought up, school system or such, like, you definitely have to learn how to do it. And then now it's like, there was a time where, let's say you go to school, you're supposed to get a job afterwards, but like for me personally, it felt like so out of place. It's like it just, everything that was, quote, the norm would repel me, and I'd feel uncomfortable, I'd feel off, I don't like being here, I don't want to do this, I don't like just nothing whatsoever that got any fulfillment out of, whereas people are going through their life as normal and it more, especially we'll go into the mentor portion a little bit, of realizing how many, because you don't know, like the mentors, let's say, the type of people that do what we do and like us, you don't realize how many there are out there, and there's so little information disseminated about them where you realize, oh wow, okay, so there is another way to go. There's someone else who's gone this way, and it's okay to think a little bit differently and not want to do this type of job. And that's where I think, like, once you learn, like for myself personally, once you learn that that's okay and you can actually do a lot with it, then all of a sudden it like opened a whole new door. It's like, wow, now's the fulfillment that I was looking for, and I realized where my energies are. I remember, like, I think, did I say it to one podcast to you, or I said it somewhere? I said it many times, but I remember when I was working in the school, because I went to school for teaching, working in the school, and I was coming out of the library there, and I'm looking around, I'm like, this is it? It's like, this is the next 20, 30 years? Yeah. It's like, oh, no, I can't do this. Yeah. And that's like right then when I knew. So, what do you, I mean, as we mentioned just a moment ago, what mentors? Do you guys value mentors?
Yes.
Big time. I was going to ask you guys, do you guys have a coach?
I have one right now.
You have one?
I just hired one, yeah.
No kidding. We'll have to talk afterwards.
Ooh,
it's specifically to wedding photography.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah.
Really?
How long have you, was it a guy or a girl?
Woman.
How long have you been with her now?
We just started. We had a sort of like a pre-video chat, and then we have actually our first one next Monday. Not this Monday, the following Monday.
Where's she located?
In Poughkeepsie.
Oh, that's nice.
That's really close.
She's made a very. I like how she runs her business as a wedding photographer. I like her, how she approaches the business, and she's really made a name for herself. And then she puts something. Actually, I reached out to her because I was asking her all these questions. I'm like, listen, do you ever offer like a mentorship sort of program? And she's like, you know what? A lot of people have asked me, why don't we do like a trial with you?
That's awesome.
And
that's great.
So we'll see how it goes.
I've always wanted one. What about you? I think we need one.
I think so.
I honestly think it's a missing piece in our lives.
Absolutely. I mean, think of it. Let's just say, like, I completely agree with you. Like, think if you're, especially old tradesmen, you're a woodworker, a metalworker, a smith, whatever, a cooper, all those guys. There would always be, you have an apprentice, and then you'd have the master of it. And there's nothing on earth that you can do that you could do well, rather, without having learned from someone of experience. Like, let's say in here, like for me, like I still train under my coach, still learn, still do everything. And if you don't have that, like, there's no way you're going to get better. You can read so much, you can only go to so many seminars or things like that. If you don't have someone directly that you're working with, and this for anything, training, business, whatever skill, if you don't have someone who's done it and has the experience to be able to learn from, that you're immediately stagnant. You're not going to be going anywhere.
100%.
So I have, for training, yes, I have my coach. And then business-wise, I have a couple people. I mean, I wouldn't say, let's say they're like direct mentors where I'll go to and be like, hey, Steve.
Right.
Yes. It's just like I refer to this guy, I'll refer to another guy. I'll pose them business questions of people that I rely upon that are in a, let's say, either more successful or a more time-laden position that I've been in. So how about you?
I don't have anybody that I can go to.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a huge missing part in my life, because I don't know everything, and I'm the first one to admit that. Like,
absolutely.
There's so much things that there's so many things that I'm doing wrong. I bet, and someone needs to tell me that so I can be accountable and make the changes just to be better.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing with weightlifting too. Like,
absolutely.
you're gonna have a coach that's gonna see the flaws and the faults that
and
are gonna correct you. Yeah, exactly. So I was just curious.
Yeah,
that's great, Viv.
But I mean, even so, like,
I have,
go
sorry,
ahead. No, you guys go.
No, I was just gonna actually, in the beginning, well, and still now, you're probably the only person that I really trust. Like, I'll go to Danny, refer to him to ask him sort of like some business questions that I know I can trust him, because it's lonely at times.
And all the time.
It's lonely when you're doing this thing by yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're like, Dave, that you're saying that you're sitting, I don't want to use the word admitting, but you're actually coming out and saying, hey, like, I would like to have a mentor. I don't know if other business owners would ever admit that, or to say, like, oh, I can do it all on my own. Like, I know everything.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you fail, I guess. Like, if you think you know everything. You said in the beginning of the podcast, like, the three of us are successful. I don't think we are at all, because I think people perceive us as successful, but I think we're never gonna
in our heads we want more.
We're never satisfied.
I don't think I'm successful at
all.
No way. I would not quantify myself whatsoever.
Absolutely not. But I'm sure I get compliments all the time, like, oh, you're crushing it, like, you have no idea. I am far from crushing it.
I'm swimming with cement blocks on my feet.
Look at all this money that I have.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great.
Hoping to keep my head above water.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's an interesting thing too, because it's hard and it's difficult.
Yeah.
But I would rather do this 10 times over than just coast through. And it just seems, and the more it's a self-learning process. I'm sure you had too, where like, you obviously you learn more about yourself and try all that cliche like stuff, but I'm learning that, I don't know, whatever, psychologically, subconsciously, that it's I gravitate towards very difficult things that make my life unpleasant. That's the direction I head. I never go that. And when I go that way, then it's like, oh, this is boring, and then I find myself in another situation where I'm really uncomfortable. Like, oh, I hate. Why am I doing this? Like even last year, like when I'm traveling all over the place. Yeah. But I still did it. He loves traveling. Yeah. The process is terrible. It kills my body. Absolutely kills me. But I kept doing it. Yeah. And it's just like, it's the same thing with training and same with business. The more uncomfortable you are in doing it, like I shared, let's say with one of my quote mentors, good friend of mine, I sent one of Grant Cardone's posts. And do you see the one where he had that Range Rover? It was like with the 10X thing on it, and he's standing in front of it, but he was saying about like when he was 40, he bought a BMW. Yes. I sent him that post. So basically what he was saying is how, like, when he was 40 years old, he had, like, 3 different businesses. He was wildly successful, or what people would term successful. And he finally bought himself, he said a German car. And payments were $700 a month, and he was terrified of it. He was terrified of the payments, $700 a month. He didn't want to buy wheels, anything like that. And it's just because, going to, I guess what we were saying, about constantly being uncomfortable, constantly not assessing the level of success that he actually had. And I thought, I was like, wow, this is great. And it makes you feel at ease seeing something like that from someone like him. I mean, well, Grant's kind of a mentor for you. I mean,
definitely. We talk about him. Yeah, we talk about him all the time. You and I, talking about like getting uncomfortable. I just read David Goggins' book.
How was it?
It was incredible.
Yeah, I got to get it then. Everyone's been saying it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's incredible. And he talks about callousing your mind. Yeah. Like, how we have calluses on our hands. Yeah. If we could apply the same thing, like harden up the way we do our hands, and we harden up our minds, like that. There's always something that sticks with you in a book, and that has been sticking with me lately. Like just like doing everything you can. Like if my hands were like smooth, like this is right here is a sign of like years and years of hard work. like same thing with our minds too.
Yeah.
I think, you know, just applying that same concept. I think that's cool.
Did you ever see a tradesman, like an older like guy in his 60s, 70s, 80s, tradesman's hand?
My dad's, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
Sandpaper.
They're like, yes.
Yeah. My grandfather, like
Baseball gloves.
he had a
It's
claw.
like-
It was a claw. Like it eventually, like obviously, like from years of work and everything, when he went to pick something up, and hold on, hopefully you could hear me with the microphone. He could like a can of something. He had to actually like scoop it because his hands were so hardened from the years of labor. And this is a guy who was doing manual labor from the time he was 12 till he physically couldn't. Not because he didn't want to do it. He wanted to do it, but physically couldn't do it till he was probably like mid 80s.
Yeah.
So I mean, going to doing that with your mind is.
That separates you from the rest.
It really does. And again, like most people don't understand that whatsoever. They think it's easy. And
I mean, Viv, you stepped away from a great job and a great. It had a nice retirement. I'm sure it did. Like,
Health
how
insurance.
do you do that? Yeah, health insurance.
Yeah, that's. I have kids.
So,
like
how do you get to that point where you're like, I'm gonna sacrifice all that?
honestly, I got to a point that I was so depressed at work, and I was coming home like really upset. And one day my daughter, because kids are awesome this way, my daughter was like, "Mom, why don't you just quit?"
Just
leave.
Just like that.
And luckily, I have a very supportive husband. He saw what I was going through, and he said, "This is not worth it." He said, "I'd rather move to a different state in a 1-bedroom apartment than to see you like this."
Wow.
So when I had decided, and photography was always like in my life, and I opened up the Everyday Lifters account as like a sort of a joke. Like he was like, "Oh, you should do it like to relieve stress." And then when things sort of, you know, one thing led to another, he was like, just go for it and we'll figure it out. I mean, we've had to make changes, obviously. I mean, some major like financial changes at home, but I'm so much happier
That's
now.
what matters.
I don't know. Do you notice that I'm happier
of
now?
course. Oh my God. I mean, it goes without saying. It's
Besides the occasional outburst.
Well, that's.
I remember.
No. No.
I remember early CrossFit days with you. Like, you were a completely different person now than you were then. Like, personality-wise. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's
great.
forced me. The weightlifting has forced me to do things.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think some of the greatest entrepreneurs come from a healthy lifestyle of working out. Like, honestly, because you transfer what you do in these gyms to what you do in business. I think
Absolutely.
that's.
You were just saying that too.
Yeah, we were saying that today. Our venerable producer and I, we always discuss this. I mean, everything you do in here, and like I remember one time you put a post up, like the bar rack that we have right over there. Like the ugliest bar in the rack over there. You put something. I can't remember what you did, but you're saying like you took a picture of the ugly bar, and you're like, this bar's not pretty, such and such, whatever you're going on.
Yeah.
But I worked hard and I achieved something on it, and the whole point, like your post, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because you're just I forget the exact premise, but essentially it's just like it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. If you're working and you're striving to achieve something, it carries over into everything else. And that was the premise ultimately of your point, not the exact exercise, but the premise of your point is that how you apply yourself, even with the most minimal of tools, you can achieve anything that you want to be able to really work towards.
100%. Things don't have to be pretty. They don't have to be up to date and new. And like I come into this is my first time in this gym, and I'm like, this is what rugged. This is the definition of rugged in here, and like this is exactly what I can appreciate, and I love it. Yeah. This is great.
I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so that's actually a good segue because that kind of leads to what it's. You said before you're reading David Goggins' book.
I just finished it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
now I'm reading The One Thing.
The One Thing. Who wrote that?
I don't even know.
Okay.
But I'm reading it.
It's about one thing, I assume.
It is. It's about laser focus on one thing.
Okay.
Which I have a tough time doing. I'm sure you guys do too, because I want to do so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your
brain's going so many different ways all the time, and it's just like, all right, now what? Oh, I want to do this.
Right.
I want to do that. But it's like you got to be able to harness that, no?
Yeah. Especially when you have a wife that's telling you to.
Shh. Yeah. You need to hear that, Jamie.
Exactly.
Well, that's what she's for, no?
That's exactly what she's for, to keep you grounded.
They say behind every good man, it's a strong woman.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And me, it's just me.
Yeah, you, it's just you. Eres una latina, muy fuerte. So, Viv, what have you read recently?
I've actually started to. I have something called the Daily Stoic.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I have that book.
by Ryan Holiday.
Yeah.
Yes. So I've been reading one, like, it's, because there's like day by day you can read it. And I've been incorporating meditation in the morning and bullet journaling. So that's been taking up a big part of my time. Yeah. Because I had been feeling really scattered. And now with running 2 businesses, I couldn't keep track of where I needed to be. So the bullet journaling has been really helpful.
So take us through your routine, like your daily routine. What does that look like?
That's a good question.
I'm up between 5 and 5:30 because I need to I just can't talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to the kids. I just want to have my cup of coffee. I meditate for 11 minutes and I read a passage from the Daily Stoic, and then I answer my messages from Instagram the night before. I close everything down and then I go and start getting my kids ready. Okay. And then
so you don't even touch your phone?
I do after I'm done with all that.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, then I pick up my phone, answer my messages from the night before, and then start my day.
When you meditate, what does that involve? Is it a quiet room? Is it a dark place? Is it what does that look like?
I have a dark place.
Yeah, we all know that.
It's a crypt.
So
anyway.
Oh my God.
So I have something hanging in my office of all the things that I'm going to do this year.
That's cool.
And so I kind of look at it, I reflect, and then so I stare at that for a few minutes. I take it in, and then I just meditate for 11 minutes. It's in my office. Nothing too crazy. I just need that to kind of clear my mind for the day. Yeah.
Is there music playing?
Yeah. It's like on it's an app called I don't remember.
It's not Headspace.
Headspace. That's probably a lot of people use that, right?
Something else.
I haven't tried that. I got to use that.
So that's been helpful.
I'm out of touch with my spirituality. You? That's one thing.
What's like going to church? You mean?
No, I'm not talking religion. I'm talking just.
Yeah, you won't find me.
No, me neither. I'm talking like something
Father.
like that.
Yeah, that. I think I do it in a different way.
Yeah.
I for me, like, let's say yesterday I told you guys before I was doing a seminar. So like when I do any event where a lot of people have to be on, I need the commensurate amount of time to be completely shut off. So what I'll usually do is I'll just leave my phone somewhere and then just like take my dog out for a walk or go in the woods somewhere like where it's real quiet and I can just go all inside and just kind of zero myself. And so long as I really do that, I think that gives me a pretty good balance. Meditating, I find it hard to do just because I get too antsy. I'm like, I got to get up. I can't do this. So I need to be a little more active while doing it because I think just that works better for me. It's what I'm more comfortable with, and the environment makes more of a difference than just closing down for a second. So,
that makes sense.
What about you?
I don't do any of that. But when you said walking your dog like without the phone, I think that's even if it's just like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I think that's
definitely.
Great. The phone is so toxic.
When we went to Germany, her and Liz, they got whatever international plan was. I didn't get a plan, so I just whenever I'd have Wi-Fi, I'd use my phone. But when we were out doing things, my phone was useless to me, and it was awesome. It was liberating because you're not connected to it mentally because you know it doesn't work. So then you're present to everything that's right in front of you, and it was just like you live in the moment so much more without getting distracted by it. And I think the phone is really they've helped us so many ways business-wise, but in terms of our thoughts, have just convoluted them with just so many unnecessary stressors. Even like, and not even like being distracted on Instagram, I don't think. Just like the readiness of being able to have a conversation with someone. It's like, a conversation can wait. You don't have to answer right away. So that's why, like, if I leave the phone away and just go out and wander through anywhere, that makes a good difference for me.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I come to better conclusions too that way.
Definitely a little bit of clarity.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Sometimes you need that.
A lot of that. So I want to ask you guys, because I love reading. Big reader. That's why I like talking about goggles, but absolutely got to get it. Viv, we'll start with you. What's your favorite book? Favorite book you've ever read?
Oh, this is tough. Can I name a few?
Yeah, name a few.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Let's say had a most profound impact. You could have a favorite, like, it's a great novel. I love the story, but like, what's had the most profound impact on you?
I just had a conversation.
There are two
with someone about this. Yeah.
Really, in terms of what their favorite book was?
What the impact? But go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
There were two. One is from Jen Sincero. Is
that a Spanish name?
No, she's Italian, but I'm totally. It might be.
Yeah. See,
Putting that extra spice on
well,
it.
when Viv goes to use accents for another language, it always refers
It's always
back
Spanish.
to Spanish. Yeah. When we were practicing German, there was a Spanish accent, i.e. Italian, more of a Spanish accent.
Aisenstat.
Yeah. so George.
The first book I read from her is, I think the title is so lame, but she chose this title on purpose. It's called How to Be a Badass or something like that.
Okay.
And then this other book that I go back to often. I don't want to confuse it with another book.
Don't.
It's either The Art of War or The War of Art, one
Yeah.
of those. But it's a very thin book, and the guy, he's a writer, and he talks about this thing that kind of lurks around us that's called the resistance.
Okay.
So the resistance is anything that distracts you.
Oh, that's cool.
Getting up to eat when you're bored, picking up your phone, pretty much making up an excuse to not do what you're supposed to be doing during the day.
Oh, interesting.
So and it's very digestible, and I have it all marked up, so sometimes I'll go back and refer to it for whatever.
Yeah.
Refer to the feces of your digested thoughts.
Yeah, a little bit. So anyway, but those are my favorite. How about you guys?
Mine, honestly, Atlas Shrugged is the producer. Atlas Shrugged is probably the one book where I've read it twice already. I would go back for a third time in a heartbeat. Where both times where I've read it, picked up something completely different out of it that had been so effective. I would recommend. I do recommend that book to everybody. So
Yeah.
that's my go-to. Like if I was. That's the only one that like completely stands out of everything that I've read. That if you were to ask me that question, so Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah. Excuse me. Extreme Ownership was an outstanding book for me because Jocko Willink.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
And it was just like not just business, but everything, like relationships and friendships, being a better husband, like taking ownership of something that you mess up, you could project it onto someone else so easily, especially when you're a business owner. You could blame your coach, blame your staff, whoever it may be. But that was a very impactful one. Be obsessed to be average.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
That's like, that'll fire you up to like be laser focused on like massive action. That's
Absolutely.
what I got away. Taking massive action is like what I got from Grant Cardone. Just that little trinket of do more than anyone else would. Like that's how you're gonna separate yourself from everyone else and outwork everybody.
You know, who was I? That leads me to a thought. I can't remember. Oh, one of the really odd way around it. So one of the, let's say, new kid who just signed up to train here this past week.
Yep.
It turns out he was actually one of the students that I had back when I worked at the high school. So a buddy of his, he knew a few other guys, different degrees of separation, if you will. But anyway, it turns out that a friend's guy comes in here and trains, but he works at Enterprise. And the other day we were just talking about exactly that in terms of taking, hopefully the heater doesn't affect that, but taking, I'm sorry. Basically, long story shorter, and the pith of our conversation was that all you have to do to be successful is just like Grant says, over-deliver. So just do the right thing and do it really well, and everything else will follow that. You don't have to try to be novel or anything else. Just do great work.
That's it, and don't be an asshole.
Yeah, that's exactly. He actually said that exact same thing. I mean, if you do those two things, you have everything that you could want, and more people come to it because
attraction.
Attraction. That's exactly it. There's no secret. There's no complication to it whatsoever.
You're so lucky.
Must be nice.
Ooh, I see what you're getting at.
So those two things really. I mean, Viv told me when you were gone just now that she hears it all the time. What do you hear, Viv?
You're so lucky. So people, because like, wow, like I got to go to Ashgabat, Turkmenistan, right? And photograph the weightlifters there, like the world champions. That's just wild. That is crazy. And a lot of times, often I get from other people that maybe are trying to get into photography or whatever, like, you're so lucky. And I know that they're coming from a place like they can appreciate, but also like, how do I get into this? Like, you're so lucky that this opportunity came. It's like, no, it wasn't luck. It was a lot of work.
You earned it.
I earned it.
You earn your luck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I agree with you. You create your own luck.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then the other one was, it must be nice. It must be nice.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's not nice. It's not nice at all. You think it is, but it's not. It's like people just don't understand what it's like to be in our position, and it's not a woe is me. It's just hard work that we're addicted to. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind saying that.
Well, you know,
Right?
it is nice, but you're not willing to do what I did to get there.
Right.
If you wanted to do what I did,
Must be
then-
nice.
Yeah.
Like exactly. You didn't earn your way, did you? It must be nice, you know? Yeah, right. It fucking just hard work. Years of dedication to your craft, and it's just like, you know, same thing with weightlifting too. Like, must be nice to snatch fucking 100 kilos. What do you think? It just came to me? You know? I don't understand that.
But you know, another thing with that too, like once you get to that point, and yeah, it is nice at that point, but that's only about 10 minutes.
Right.
And then you're right back to it just
Yeah.
not being nice anymore.
Right.
And then that's again where no one's willing to put themselves out like that.
Yeah. I think it's a series of mini gratification moments that you have to appreciate, but then after that you have to get right back to it.
That's like, you know, like there are a few people here who, when they make a record, like I envy them because I wish I could get excited like them. They make a record like screaming,
Yeah,
going
yeah.
nuts. I wish I could do that. If I make a record, it's I should have did that long ago. All right, now I got to make more, and that's it. There's no jubilation. There's no excitement about it. It's more or less more or less disappointment because I'm capable of it. I should have done this already. And then, I mean, there's really no exultation for any point because it's just, that's it.
You should get
I demand
excited
more.
though.
I know I should, but it's hard. I don't know what really brings that out. It's difficult to bring that out. Maybe it's, I mean, I'll get
You
excited
owe it to
for
yourself,
other people. You know, that's a really good point.
You do. And you have to run a business. It's not like you. That's the other thing. Oh, you own a gym. You must be working out 3 hours a day. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
You got it.
But you owe it to yourself too, because you work hard at building a business, and then when the time you have to work out, to train to your craft,
Yeah.
you should freaking get excited, Daniel.
Yeah, that's, you know, I did. What was it, last year? Whatever, or 2 years ago? Whatever it was when I snatched 120. That was like
Yeah,
a
hell
long
yeah.
time ago. And that time I did. That got excited.
You
I
got
was like,
fired up?
"Oh, yeah.
That's
So
awesome,
I
man.
gotta get back to that. But that's a nice feeling to have that because seeing and tangibly having that
Yeah.
achievement of lots of
You
toil
deserve
and
it,
labor.
though.
Viv screams all the time, but it's
For
different.
the wrong reasons.
I
get mad.
coño.
Why do you scream? At what moments do you scream?
When I get frustrated.
Yeah.
Because weightlifting is one of those things that you can't, because I'm such a control freak and I want things a certain way,
Sure.
and I can't do that with weightlifting. So I'm at its mercy, I guess.
Yeah.
True.
But you keep coming back to it.
I do.
And that's the thing. I mean, I think overarches everything too. Is that it's very hard and this goes back to, like you were saying, like how weightlifting and what you're doing here is applicable and relative to the outside world because you keep coming back and you keep working and the dedication. And there are many people, I'm sure you probably see it at your gym too, who they're here for a month, 2 months, and then all of a sudden they're in one day.
It's the honey hole.
Yep. Yeah. Then all of a sudden they kind of just fade away.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because I'm sure they can. Oh, this is something I'll be really good at. I know I'll be good at this. But then, okay, 3 months later, where are you? I thought you were going to be really good at this. I thought you're gonna conquer and dominate everything. But it's all hard work.
Jared Ennerton, which you two probably know of,
Yeah.
he said something a few months ago that really resonated. And I try to, because like when you're new to CrossFit and here too, you're PRing and PBing every single day, every single week, right? So it's like, when we're so, I don't want to say experienced, but weathered to lifting and, you know, our craft and whatnot and working out, it's like, we're not going to PR every single week or month or whatever it is. Like we'll take a 1 kilo PR all day.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, people are getting like 5 kilos, 15 kilos, whatever it is. But he said what we do consistently is raise our minimum.
Yeah.
So our starting point has gone through the years higher and higher and higher. Even though we may not PR every single session or whatever it is, our minimum has raised.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, I think.
Right.
Because it shows, like, let's say on Friday we had training, myself and my training partner. For the most part, I'm coming back from like just a stupid back injury, so I haven't been able to squat. I'm kind of, I mean, dare I say, like not fully conditioned. So here my one training partner, he and I were doing snatches together. Our coach tells us, okay, try to catch them all high. Let's have a competition, see who could have the best set of 3. So we get to 105. I power snatch all 3. He full snatches all 3. So essentially, I win the power snatch contest. Then we get to 110. I can't power snatch. The first set I did, I caught the first one high, but the next 2 I caught low. But he's able to snatch all 3, made all 3 sets. My first 2, fly up nice. Third one, it was like my legs died. There was nothing left. It went from being like rubber bands snapping to just like wads of duty that just jumped up. Like I couldn't.
It's a technical term.
Yeah, I couldn't make my 3rd rep for the life of me, just because haven't been squatting, haven't been doing anything.
Right.
But let's say going with that, my minimum is, let's say in terms of proficiency, technique, and such, I can still make the same weight relative to a guy who's been training very hard, very consistently, but not conditioned to that point. And that's something that's most important. I think that applies.
We get away from that though. That's the problem. Like we get so greedy in our minds, like, why didn't I PR yesterday or whatever it is? Well, look at where you are since 5 years ago or whatever it is. Like, look at your starting weight. Yeah. Like, be grateful for that. And I think we get away from that.
Yeah. And that's business-wise too.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll actually, like, now, I don't know how you guys are, but like I'll look back on, like, Facebook always does. I mean, not that I go on Facebook a lot, but like I usually check Facebook every day just to see if anyone's having a birthday, because I always post that in the team page, someone has a birthday. So that's really the only reason I go on Facebook. I don't care for it all. But like sometimes I'll pull up those pictures of like 4 years ago, here's your memory, and I'll look back. I don't want to look at them. Like, oh, I just want to just keep everything back there. I'm going this way. That's back there. It doesn't matter. No, but for real, because it's just like I want to get away from where that was back in the past, because I don't want to look back to that. I don't like that. I want to keep going forward, because now it's like seeing where the long-term efforts, work, dedication. Like I remember the video you had the other day of everyone in your garage, when your garage was packed out. Like you look at that.
Was crazy.
I mean, it's nice to see where you come from, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, nah, I can't go back to that. And that's what I think keeps the motivation. The same thing with lifting too. Yep. So like I know I'm not going to make a record every day, but doesn't mean I'm not going to completely stop grinding away to continue to move ahead. Right. So how do you feel?
In terms of everything you guys just shared?
Yeah.
It was a lot.
You said your side the whole time looking at us. Yeah, right?
I don't know. I think for me, because I've been going through this stuff with my snatches. It's like really shitty, but...
You're just retarded. Yeah, I said that.
He did.
Yeah.
So,
side note, sorry. Someone told me that I can't say retarded once. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm retarded. I can say it.
It's not the first time I haven't heard it.
I know. It's and the way we grew up, that retarded was the word.
Left and right.
Yeah.
Can't do it. It's 2019.
If I identify as a retard, I am. Oh yeah, that's right. Viv's a Nazi, in case you were curious.
Oh. Yeah. Did you know?
Were you called that?
Yeah. In so many words.
My company is too. Racist.
Yeah. Supports Nazis.
What? For real?
I can't make this shit up.
Yeah. She showed me the conversation.
That's
it was crazy.
Yeah. People are like, woo. But
that's sad.
Yeah.
I can't control. I can only control how I feel and how I react.
Yeah.
I can't control them, so they don't know me.
No.
From there's
they don't know that you cut them.
That's true.
You saw them first, you cut them. the other day I was opening a box. Was it with you I said that, where I had the razor in my mouth?
I don't remember.
Oh,
maybe. I had a splinter.
No, it was different. I was cutting a box open. I had a razor in my mouth. I was like, look, I'm Spanish.
Yes, yeah, right. So with my snatches, Dave, my knee has been, my knee touches the floor when I snatch. Yeah. It's like really crappy. It's been going on for a while. But now I've come to a point that now I just celebrate, like, wow, I didn't cry today. Or like, before.
Yeah.
Like when I used to get really upset and I'd get like, or, I didn't curse someone out, like while I was snatching, or like, wow, I don't know. Yeah, the other day when we were working on those drills and my back, like you had me sitting back on my butt more.
Yeah.
I took that, like, I did that much better today.
That's great.
Yeah.
The small measurable.
Yes.
Values.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Those are huge.
Yeah. Do you apply that in business too? Do you have like small markers that you use, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I enjoy the big victories, but I don't get like, I look at it like, wow, this happened, move forward. I can't get myself wrapped up in like the big things that happen. Like if they're good for me, I celebrate it at that moment, but I don't get it to let it get to my head, because it could distract you and blind you from what you need to do to move forward. Yes, and get comfortable.
No, I'm sure you
always hungry.
Yeah, always. Like I don't nothing. Like I can't. Like I feel like I cannot stop going. If I stop going, I'll just drown right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't get. I don't know. A lot of people they'll do like have an achievement and then just. All right, I'm gonna chill out for like.
No, you can't.
6
I think
months.
the more successful you get, the more you have to work to then get to the next level.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of like artists do that. When I say artists, like music rappers or whatever. Yeah. Like you hear from them or even take Justin Timberlake. What is he doing right now? Yeah. Like he comes out with an album, I don't know when, years ago, and then what? Like he collects his paycheck and his royalties, and then that's it. Like, when are we going to hear from these guys again? Yeah.
But maybe they don't
Justin,
want to work.
I know you're listening.
It is true. I think I saw his official subscription.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
I guess they don't have to, but we have to.
But I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd not want to.
Like if you win the lottery, would you stop working?
No. Hell no.
Absolutely not. I'd still be here. I'd still be here at the same time.
Absolutely.
I might be in Aruba, but no.
I'd probably be yelling at people. I wouldn't be afraid of scaring people as much. I'd probably be a lot harsher. For real.
I like it.
Like, you know what? Okay, I can get away with this. I can be a little bit more unruly. Yeah. Well, not unruly, but I could just be a little bit more demanding without fear of.
No, there's a wedding photographer in the UK, Ian Weldon. He's really done well for himself, and his whole thing. If he does not like the couple, he actually his bio is what the fuck. Yeah. And he talks about how he's not a wedding photographer. He actually says, I'm not going to be posing you. I'm not going to be, and he can do that because he's at a point in his career that it's like, reputable. Yeah,
that's the point that I want to get to. When I get to that point, then I'll know, okay, now I'm happy to where I'm at, where I can just like I said that to you the other day, where I can just go off and not care whatsoever what anyone says about anything. Yeah, that's when I know I'll be at a good point.
It's hard to do. Like that's, especially these days, you can't say shit. No. You can't say the same shit I was saying back in 2012.
No. That's recent.
I know, that's man. Really it's crazy. It's every year it gets worse and worse. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm sure you guys are with me too. But like, we have to censor ourselves all the time. You know, why? Because you can get, because of social media. Hands down, social media. You get something that someone will write a post. You know Caesar? You remember what happened to Caesar?
No.
Caesar, who's now one of my coaches, wasn't my coach before this happened, was working at Poughkeepsie High School. I don't care if I fucking call him out. I don't fucking, whatever.
Do it.
Caesar was working there. He loves kids, super passionate. He loves his kids, his job. Beginning of the school year comes around. In the syllabus, he wrote, half-ass work will result in half-ass grade. Yeah. He wrote the word ass.
Don't tell me you got in trouble for that. Oh, my God.
An angry parent took it to Facebook. Can you believe this? Took a picture of the syllabus, put it on Facebook, and then it went viral. Next day, Caesar was asked to resign.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Caesar, I'll take you on. I know how much of a good person you are, regardless of what the paper is saying. The Poughkeepsie Journal front page is saying about you.
Wow, they just.
I'll take you on as a coach because I know who you are, and he's one of my fucking best coaches.
Wow, that's crazy.
You can't say anything.
No. Well, that was
nothing.
Like this thing with the racists, like that. Yeah. Companies. It's because I said I was going to Germany, so I guess I was going to the wrong part of Germany. And like, if you're going to be going to that part of Germany to visit, then your company's racist. You are a racist.
Wow. Fucking sad.
You know, and that's one thing I'm really happy about here. That like, I don't know. Maybe it's just you could maybe explain better than me about me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To where like we have people from everywhere around here. So when most people like they ask about what the flags are about. So obviously weightlifting is an international sport, but all the flags are representative of everybody that comes here. So if you look around, we got flags from the white people country, a Jewish people country, a black people country. You got the gay flag over here. Yep. And it's representative of everyone that comes. We have people from Spanish people. We got Spanish people. Where are you? You're over there. Yeah. Okay. and there. But we have people from all over, and like, I mean, obviously, for our viewers who are unfamiliar with us, I mean, we don't have an HR department, and it's a good thing we don't, because we'd be canned out pretty quick.
Hands down.
But I mean, the jokes that we have, we say like in front of our gay lifters, I'll be calling and say like, "What are you, gay? What's wrong with you?" I'll be saying something like that, or make black jokes with the black people. Her, I just made the joke about the razor. But no one gets offended by it.
Right.
And everyone, like, they realize that it's in good fun. It's not meant to be malicious or anything like that. Whereas if you come in from the outside, people are like, oh my gosh, you can't say that.
Right.
And people get so upset about these things. And, you know, I remember one time, you remember Phaedra Knight by chance?
Yeah.
She was with CrossFit Night. Okay. Her and I, actually, it was at 2013, I think, regionals. Her and I went out, because she wasn't doing CrossFit then, but her and I went out and did went to a gym to just do some lifting, and she was telling me how she went out to a banquet for like rugby players from however. And so, do you know Phaedra? Okay, she's awesome woman, love her. I haven't seen her in years, but she's just big black woman. She's gay. From Georgia too, so she's got a real thick drawl. She's cool. But she said she went out to this like old rugby dinner, and everyone there, they were talking about like just talking with the old timers, and they were saying a very similar thing. But he was saying how like back then, like they'd call everybody, like we do here, call everybody out by what their background, identify them as everyone as they are. But it wasn't malicious, it wasn't hateful, it was just celebrating who they were, picking fun at them, but embracing everybody, and they were unified. And she's, like even her, she was saying like, now things are getting so crazy where you can't say anything to anybody without getting upset. And then just like going back to what you were saying, it's like people get so offended by everything where it's just like, how does that help anything?
You can't be yourself.
You can't be yourself. And going into, let's say, pulling that into our whole conversation is, you know, people come in here, and I recognize everybody individually, and we make jokes because it's fun. But like personality, it's business-wise in the world, you can't get you have to be so gray and mute to everything, but it washes it all out. But here, everyone's exemplified for who they are.
Cool.
But yeah.
So because I've seen people brand new people come in, and you know within 15 minutes if they're gonna come back. Daniel makes some sort of joke, and you can see them like.
I can't believe you said that.
Like they cannot handle it, and they're gone. You just don't see them ever again. So I think in a way you want this culture, you know, your place where you coach to be like this, you know, because I know that it's hard for you to probably hold back who you really are. Can you imagine if you had to do that?
Oh my God, I already had to when I was in the school. I was like, oh, this is terrible. There's so much material to work with. You know, the jokes that I'm holding in right now, you guys would be loving this. But no, it works for you. I mean, but you know, like Dave was saying, like with dude Caesar, because people being so sensitive about that, it's going to stifle everything. Yeah, I mean, how can you have a lively and prosperous business or a lively and prosperous world if you want to mull over the differences of everybody and make everybody gray? Meanwhile,
you're separating, being so sensitive. You're dividing everybody.
Yeah,
you're the problem. Like you're dividing that, and you're making it such an issue. Now it's like it's just getting so bad. You know, we can go on for days about that.
Yeah, we definitely could. But it's just, ultimately, it's unfair of that, because let's say, like, that guy calling you a Nazi. And Viv, no, for real, but Viv showed me the conversation.
It's crazy.
The guy dominated the conversation. Accusation, just like you could tell this guy was very passionate about his argument. You give him credit for that, but he was just like, whoa, back up. I didn't say anything. You're not even hearing me. And the guy just immediately assumes. And it's like, what good is that? And business-wise, that's difficult for you, because now you have to adapt to dealing with this guy.
I thought about it. I was like, okay, should I block him? If I do block him, if he responds, should I respond back?
Right.
Should I
engage?
Do I engage? Like I don't know. In a way, it was the first time I actually dealt with something like that with a complete stranger. And then I started thinking, like, is he gonna post this? Like, is he gonna tell other people that I'm racist?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and I mean, the more you scale, especially you, because you are so international, like the more problems you're gonna run into. Like that. Like that's not gonna be the first time you're gonna have to deal with this.
No, and that's like, because with the everyday lifters, I run into very strange things. Like if I don't post enough of one country, I'll get called out.
For sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or it's bizarre. It's really, really bizarre. It's like, but you're so lucky.
Yeah, must be nice.
Yeah, it must be nice to have to deal with that.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
So I got a comment a few years ago from one of my members that I posted maybe 3 guys in a row on the CrossFit 845. What about the women? What about? I'm sorry. I'll get one up right now. Hold on. Let me stop everything I'm doing. I'll get it up for you right now.
Oh,
it's crazy.
That's out of control.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you have like a complete overwhelming bias, which would be obvious. I mean, for the most part, forget that. I guess last thing that I'll have to pose to you guys, is there someone that you look up to? Or someone that you admire? That you could look at, like past, present, future? I mean, if you're good like that. That you could look at and say, you know what, I like what
Why do Viv and I do the same thing?
I got to think.
This is our thinking posture. Head back, look into the ceiling.
Dutchess County requisite.
We're going to find some material up there.
I can turn the lights on. Look at the lights. I'll flip them on. These lights are awesome. If you ever need good lights, I could hook you up. These things are LEDs. They blind you.
Those little units right there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'll show you afterwards. They're ridiculous.
That's
Your
awesome.
sunglasses. Do you want to go first, Dave?
I
have to think for a minute.
Probably my parents, I would say. Yeah. My dad was an entrepreneur. My mom was a teacher. She's now retired. My dad passed, but I think I got a lot of inspiration from him. Just wanted to, if he were still here, then make him proud. I think that's a driving force of everything that I do. And this whole complacency thing, like that wasn't for him. So I kind of want to live up to that.
That's great.
Probably, I would say. My parents, yeah.
I like that.
And my mom is outstanding. She's like the best person in the world. So.
That's cool.
For me, it would have to be my dad. Because same thing. I'll never forget, he had a hot dog stand in Puerto Rico. So like we'd go there every summer. So he'd to make extra money, he'd dust off the hot dog stand and we'd go out to the schools and stuff. And
love it.
That's hustling from the beginning.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I learned a lot of about bargaining. So if we'd go out shopping, he'd be like, no, you go back and get better price. So, and then my daughter, I actually look up to my daughter. She's
cool.
like way stronger than I am. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan?
I got a lot. I'm trying to think because
dude, it was your question.
I know, but it's really. But your guys' responses are making me think about it a little bit more in detail. There's obviously multiple people. It's hard to answer for that. Like let's say, like I would think. My grandfather, for one, because the guy was just a workhorse and like literally just nothing would stop him from working. He just loved doing that, and it wasn't even like seemingly it wasn't even just for the sake of money for working. He would just worked because the guy loved work. Let's say my father for sure, because he taught me to where if you're going to do anything, just like it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter how long it takes to do it absolutely right.
Love that.
Yeah, like he would just, I mean, he's a complete but he's also too one who just loves work. The guy goes to work, then he comes home, and then he starts working on his own projects, which are in the same exact field of what his job is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and doing that. My buddy Ekram, I mean, he's someone to look up to. At least I look up to a lot because the guy his father, mother, and then like I think 5 siblings came over here with just about absolutely nothing. Lived in a basement apartment. And now the guy's got like buildings everywhere, multiple businesses. The guy's a monster business-wise. And then like I was thinking, like even come across my mind too. You know Jesse James, you know the guy, celebrity guy.
Oh yeah.
Like I never looked up to like anyone, but like the posts and stuff he puts up, the dude's awesome because he's like ridiculously successful. He's tried his hat in just about everything, but like still every day he works really hard at being a master of his craft. Like he still works with his hands every day. I mean, he's obviously done TV shows and stuff like that, but the guy's making guns, knives, like forging steel every day, posts things up about like how literally no different from us. I mean, like there's nothing more that he's not living a high life. He's every day going out to his shop and he's working, and that's it. And just, I mean, obviously the common trend amongst all those are people who just work and don't stop working. So I think, that's really what I looked at.
I think the 3 of us have that all in common.
Yeah, for sure.
We get a lot of it from the people that we look up to.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think learning that it's okay to go outside the norm and like I remember like Viv was telling me when you first stopped working at the school and you started really getting not really, but when you're working full time with your business, how like her friends started. I'm sure you've had this at point. Her friends started. I mean, so you got cool friends. I know a bunch of all your friends.
Thanks,
you
man.
got dudes are awesome.
Shout out to the friends.
Yeah. How's Barge doing? All right.
He's good. Barge, what up?
But she was like saying that like, your friends started giving you a hard time because now all of a sudden you're not doing the normal mom thing, and they're almost shutting you out a little bit, and like
that's
one thing they don't
That's
understand.
what fuels you, though.
Yeah.
It's been, and also because I think with photography too, I'm home doing a lot on my computer, so I'll get like, oh, can't you come out for dinner? Like, can't you, or come out for breakfast? Or you're not doing anything, you're just home. It's like, no, bitch, I'm working.
Yeah. People will tell you, oh, what are you thinking? What are you thinking doing that? What are you thinking starting to do that?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
Get a real job.
Why don't you
do
yeah.
that?
Why don't you get something that's comfortable?
Yeah, you need benefits. I'm like, well, if I wanted a boring life like you, I would.
Right. If I want to be miserable like you, sure.
So you've got 2 businesses now, correct? Well,
I have 3.
Aside the 3 gyms, you have, what's the third one?
So I have CrossFit. I have So Creative. That's my videography, and then I have Hudson Valley Fit.
Oh yes, I
for
forgot
fitness
about that one.
apparel,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I started that last year, and it's cool. It's not where I want it to be because I'm not dedicating the time I should be because I'm just busy with the other 2 things. But that's no excuse. It's just a clothing brand for the Hudson Valley fitness enthusiasts, and my idea with this is to start a movement with it to get everyone together and involved with one company and one brand.
I like that
they can represent and be proud of.
You got any banners or anything like that?
I have nothing. It's all online.
Okay.
I have nothing. No, I don't have anything to hang.
Okay, I was gonna say I'll hang something up in a heartbeat up in here.
I know. I appreciate that. I haven't dedicated the time and the money and the resources to as I should have. But I realize that, and hopefully this year I'm considering taking a partner on just to help out because it would just take some stress off of me.
Yeah, that's one. You need someone like that too, like a staff that you can help and rely upon, so you can do more.
My vision was to travel up and down the Hudson Valley, visiting all different types of gyms and just talking to them, and bringing my camera there too because I actually shot one. Do you know Patty Lawson? You know Patty Lawson.
Yeah.
I know Patty.
Yeah.
Out of Ryan's gym.
Yeah.
I shot a video with her.
Oh, nice.
And it's great. I did it last summer, and it's just sitting in my freaking Final Cut Pro,
hard.
and it's just like, because I have all these other jobs to do
Yes.
before it.
You know what would be awesome for that? This would be like really good. Like, I mean,
Tell me, Dan.
I'm serious. I think this
Yeah.
would be awesome if we record this. You said travel up and down the Hudson Valley.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
You travel up and down the Hudson River in a boat, and then you come offshore, and then you start promoting the business that way. Like,
Hell
that's
yeah.
true Hudson Valley.
Dude, hell yeah.
You name it.
Get one of those shirt guns that they see
Yeah,
at the basketball games.
exactly.
Just fire them up at shadows.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Go down them freaking torches.
Yeah.
Is torches still a thing? No.
I don't know. You go to Cold Springs, send a salvo over on there. We're just like, oh my god. Name your boat like Henry Hudson the Fourth or something like that. That would be awesome.
Henry Hudson Fit.
Yeah, right. That'd be such a good idea.
That would be.
And then we can make a whole video series. It's
That's
like
old school
boat.
business.
He can
Door
make
to
like
door.
a whole like fake character the way Max Lang did.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hell
You
yeah.
do like a whole, it's like
Maggie Lang.
yeah,
Be like
or like Dave Hudson.
Yeah.
You like
Dave Hudson.
Yeah,
That's me.
Henry's long lost, distant. Well, not long lost. He's found, but Henry's like long distant Hudson Valley relative.
Love it.
That'd be
Let's
so
do it.
cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
see,
door-to-door
everyone you
marketing
come,
right
everyone you
there.
come rolling up in a boat,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're sitting down here.
Absolutely. I'm in.
I would do
Let's
that.
do it, Dan. Come on. Let's charter a boat.
Okay, I'd be
Let's
game.
get the River Rose.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll take us a year to go up and down.
Yeah.
Take us a full year.
It's like, oh, where'd they go? They're still on the river.
They're still coming. Yeah, they're doing it the old way. Wow, this really takes a long time.
It's been 3 days.
We just got a letter.
Man.
They're out of supplies.
Oh, shit. That's funny.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys have anything else?
No, I think that's it.
This was great, Dan.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me
Awesome.
on.
I appreciate you guys
Yeah,
coming on.
it was a
We
lot
got
of
to do
fun.
this
We
again.
definitely
Yeah.
have
A
to
lot
do
more.
this again.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, I thank you guys for coming.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
And let's say but I'd like to give the floor to you guys first. Please promote yourselves. Shamelessly promote yourselves.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Where can we
man.
find you, Viv? For
Well,
those who don't follow you already.
I started a new business
Oh.
called Viviana Podhaiski Photography. I know it's a
Interesting.
mouthful, but it's my
Where'd
name,
you-
so get over it.
I was just going to say, where'd you get the name influence for this?
Yeah.
So I'll give you the short answer. So I didn't want to come up with a name and logo for that company because I am the artist. So I wanted.
What's your middle name?
I don't have one.
Oh, all right. Never mind. That doesn't work.
No.
I was gonna say just do it like initials. Do like VIP photography. Bam.
Yeah, I didn't. I wanted
that's
to.
good.
Well, if her middle name was like Ingrid or something.
Yeah. Well, it could be.
Yeah, it could be.
What's a Spanish middle name? Or a Spanish name with an I?
Isabel.
Yeah, Isabel.
There you go.
Ignacia.
Ignacia.
You could pretend.
You could pretend.
You should. Just say
Yeah,
that's
you
your
have a
middle
middle
name. That'd be awesome.
VIP.
Yeah, VIP for. Oh, VIP sounds important.
So I am booking weddings this year, and family portraits, headshots.
Oh, really?
So and also graduation. Guys, don't listen. Can I just say this?
Of course.
Well,
For
I
graduation.
just gave you the floor.
For graduation pictures, because I'm taking up too much time. So for graduation pictures, I know that you guys spend a whole lot of money for like the cheesy.
Ugh.
Just
People do that? Really?
yes, they still do.
I don't.
Give
Did
me
you
a
do
call.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, it was bad.
I don't remember that.
The only dress
We
from
couldn't
the-
afford
from
it,
the
so I
torso
couldn't-
up.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, I think
Right,
I
you should
vaguely
be wearing
remember
like
that.
jeans
Yeah,
and
it was.
sweats if you want. As long as you're dressed from the torso up,
Okay.
you're good.
Okay.
Like this. No.
So when you say
Right.
don't do that,
No.
Why?
I'll do them over for you, like nice ones.
why? Like, what's the difference?
Because then they can dress up however they like
Oh, that's
in a
cool.
different location.
Oh, even better.
It doesn't have to be in a stuffy studio.
Okay, I like
Yeah.
that.
And what's your other business, Viv? You're
Everyday
forgetting.
lifters. When you see the Olympic weightlifting photography and my adventures there, I'm going to the Arnold
Oh, Arnold.
in a couple weeks.
That's fun. Yeah, a few weeks. That's in
Yeah.
March. That's more like a
March.
couple
no,
months.
no,
But
it's in February.
is it really? Oh,
Oh,
I'm
they
sorry.
moved it
I'm
up.
off. Dummy.
It's the end of February.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Lovely.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay. D, you?
Well, I CrossFit 845 is the gym, and then So Creative 845 is the videography, and then Hudson Valley Fit. Hudson Valley Fitness Apparel on Instagram, but HudsonValleyFit.com is the website.
Okay.
And video is my thing. I love video. We didn't even talk about it. We didn't talk
Video.
about photography or videography, but that's
I
fine.
know, that's all right.
That's fine. Yeah.
We'll have to talk afterwards.
Yeah, we already did a
We'll
little
have to
bit
do another one.
beforehand. I guess so.
Well, so I'll just explain
Like
briefly.
Well,
content.
you know what we could do?
content.
What's that?
We didn't talk
Is
about
like
content.
have Dave come on as like to give advice in terms of
Right, we can have our own episode about content.
Oh, that's a really good one. Wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah, save it for next time.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Content, because content is king.
Especially today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
today makes
Right.
everything. But, okay, so please like and subscribe our YouTube, and can you like and subscribe on SoundCloud? Does that work?
Yes, you can. I think it's a follow.
Yeah, follow us on SoundCloud as well, and also like our YouTube page. Dave also has a podcast. Your podcast is
CrossFit 845 podcast, which both of these cats have been on.
we have. It was
Incredible
awesome.
episodes.
It was a lot of fun. He's got really cool equipment. The headphones, it's another world. You just listen to yourself like, I love my voice. And then you take the headphones off and you're like, this is the world we live in? This is horrible. So we'll have to upgrade. So follow him there. Follow us. Follow Viv.
Yes.
And we'll come to you guys again soon. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Adios.
guys.
Adios.